not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because
Gil Scott, Heron. The revolution will not be televised.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Pass The Aux is back, baby.
Yes.
Let's
Season
go.
2,
Season
episode
2.
1, yo. This is your host and your favorite multifaceted black girl, Alexandra Alexis. I'm here with Black Nasarima.
What up?
Black man.
Black, everything is black. Yes.
Blessing.
Some new Naga.
Naga, Naga.
What's up?
SOS for president.
I know why y'all came. Hello, I'm back, ladies. I know why y'all here. Hello. I missed you too.
Oh my God. We got our couch niggas, even though we only got one right now and the other one's peeing, but he'll be back.
I hate
the
that nigga.
infamous Sue. Yeah. As he walks in, he's gonna do your little walk in as you walk in. We got Lucid in the building.
Lucid.
Yes, and of course we got the infamous Todito in the back.
Toddy further.
Left Todiford in the first season.
Oh, yeah, we left Todiford in the first season.
Todito.
Now it's Todito. It's Todito.
Because he got the...
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Todd's getting on his shit, eating healthy. I see you. I'm proud of you.
Making changes.
All right, guys,
I'm
and we back.
disappointed.
Season 2, episode 1.
Let's go.
Pass The Aux. Let's get it. So, yo, I see Trey over here. He look like he about to kill somebody.
He look at-
Black's in good spirits. SOS is always how he is. And then we got our couch niggas. How y'all feeling? Because I know it's been a lot, guys. Since the last time I seen y'all, it's been coronavirus. It's been... Shit is getting real. It's been just... Yeah,
It's
a lot of
nonsense
anarchy.
after nonsense
Yeah.
after nonsense.
Yeah.
That's it, bro. But we're all here in good health and good spirits. So
Yes, Lord.
that's what's up.
How's everybody feeling? What's up? Couch niggas, how you feeling?
Just getting over this whole
Facts.
quarantine thing. Out of work for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Probably some of the best use of time I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
My job be getting in the way, but
Yeah.
that's it for everybody.
Yeah.
Try to be a lot more constructive with it,
Yeah.
but just trying to stay sane. That's it.
That's it's not as easy as it once was, right?
Nah.
Son, what about you? How you feeling?
I'm feeling excited. You know, I think these are very exciting times to be living, and
What a time
you
to be
know,
alive.
it might seem like a lot of, you know, negativity and craziness is going around, but it's change, you know, and I feel like up until now, society has been like just on this merry-go-round that's just been repeating itself over and over, and finally that shit stopped. And everyone's like getting dizzy, like what the fuck? Like that shit is just a weird feeling. Like what's gonna happen now, you know? And it's cool to see that tomorrow is not promised for once, you know. And that excites me, you know. It's like we're living real life for once,
Yeah.
you know.
Got you.
It's a fact.
Got you.
How you feel, Naga?
I feel like it's wartime. I feel like we should be strapped up, ready to go. I feel like we need unity, and I feel like pressure's on now, and we got to do what we got to do, and we can't be bickering amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? But under all that, like Soon said, I mirror his feelings where I do feel good and I do feel free because shit is real. When this shit is real, it helps the real niggas really flourish. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how I feel.
How are you, Black?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm in high spirits. Yeah, it's been up and down. It's been a roller coaster, such as the life of, you know, a black person.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I'm feeling kind of, you know, mirroring Naga and Soon's sentiment. Optimistic. There's change in the air. There's revolution in the air. I think niggas is dead tired of this. You know what I'm saying? It's not even a think. You could feel it in the air. You know what I'm saying? So that's beautiful. And I think it's time for some real education. People really got to get educated. Ain't no more time. No more time for that. But good shit. I'm optimistic. I'm ready for the future.
That's what's up.
Let's
What's
go.
up?
I'm feeling good. I know I've been telling you guys every day it's different. I've been having my ups, I've been having my downs. But today today's one of those ups. Like just even being here with y'all right now, I feel good. You know, I really feel good. And I feel like this is the time that we all need to use our platforms to unite the Black community. That's it. Like, and I just feel like we're doing that. And I feel good. I feel like change is in the air. I feel like people are waking up. I feel like people are starting to understand some things, even though I'm not saying the world did a 360 overnight, but I definitely do see a lot of more questions being asked. I see a lot more curiosity in people's eyes. And I see a lot of love regardless, you know? And yeah, I'm grateful and I'm blessed. Yeah.
Facts.
What about you, Brady?
I think I feel a multitude of things depending on the day. Very optimistic yesterday. I was at a protest in Jersey City. It was a beautiful protest run by it was like a local high school, and powerful, man. Like the young voices right now, it's powerful, man, and they're ready to do something different, bro. That's what it sounded like. The younger kids, they're ready for some different.
Energy, right?
That young nigga energy, they're ready, bro. This guy was, the way he was talking on this mic, bro, he sounded like a grown man. And he said something so powerful, resonated with me. He was like, other classes had prom to celebrate their accomplishments. They had graduation to recognize their accomplishments. I have right here, right now. This is my graduation.
Wow.
Like, that shit was, bro.
That's
That shit
powerful.
was,
That's
that
powerful.
shit was
That's
beautiful,
powerful.
bro. Like,
That's
that shit
powerful.
was beautiful. Like, it
A revolution.
bro, like
Yeah.
this class of 2020 it's a different bunch. I think so, and that leaves me with the optimism. But mirrored with that is also the uncertainty of the future. Like, I'm tired of seeing niggas get killed. I don't know how much protest and how much, call for change is gonna, call for less niggas to be killed. We got a tyrant as the president who, and we have a bunch of people who's ready to bring him back one more time. Have this nigga come back one more again. So, like, the optimism in that aspect is not super high right now, but it's a day-to-day thing. So just try to keep my spirits up.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Speaking of protests, I know you were saying you went to one yesterday. We've been having a lot of back and forth, a lot of us in this group, about protests and riots and how we feel on it. And I just wanted to know everybody's perspectives on it.
Before you just get into that, there's a difference as well between a
Protest and a riot.
and a
Yeah,
riot,
we definitely need to clear that up.
So
Yeah.
with the protests alone, I feel like it's not enough. Although I do think it's a valiant effort for the people who go out there and protest. I think it's something. Y'all doing something. But I would like to see more tactics. Personally, I would like to see more
Organization.
more us thinking things like strategies and stuff like that. But I do think the protests serve its purpose. That's cool. But we protested back in the day too, and like you guys have been telling me, it's a different time now too. So things can change, things can be different, but history does have a lesson in it somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Protests. I have mixed feelings about protests. I've been to a couple. They're necessary. I'll never say that they're not necessary. What I will say though is I don't think that's my fight. I don't think that's the way that I can effectively help the
Create
Black
change.
community, and affect change. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's my fight.
Gotcha.
Just because the protests I've been to more recently, I'm a lot more emotional than I was. You know what I'm saying? I've lived a lot more life. And I see some people in protests who just ruin the energy.
Let's talk
And that
about
just
it.
that
Let's
kind
talk
of that
about
gets
it.
me really frustrated.
Let's talk about it.
And like,
How did they run it?
it's just, you gotta commit to having a certain reverence and a certain intention when you're at like a protest. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be with the cause. You know
So
what
it's
I'm saying?
not just
you can't
pulling
With it
up.
you
wholeheartedly.
can't just pull up and be an opportunist. Like, don't pull up to a protest because it's the first time you've seen your boy in a month. You know what I'm saying? And that type of energy is gonna ruin it because now you got a speaker in the crowd and it's just y'all doing your own thing. And you know what I'm saying? And that type of shit's gonna get me frustrated. Then I'm gonna do something stupid. You know what I'm saying? So that's not my fight. But I did dip my toe in the water a couple times. I tried protesting and I did feel a sense of unity. I did feel the solidarity. I did feel the power. But I also felt the fuck shit. So
That's a fact. That's a fact.
it's not my spot.
Also about the fuck shit.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, but is anyone in the room for protesting? Is anyone like?
I don't think anyone's against protesting.
No, we're not against it, but I'm saying, does anyone like say like feel like that's like, yo, like this is like where they can cause the most change, I guess?
I don't think that. What I was gonna say was that like the first protest I went with Brady, and I will say for me, it did something. And what it did was, we're coming out of we're in a quarantine, but we're in a very weird space and just time right now. And before leaving my house, I was feeling some type of way about everything and everybody. I was very emotional. And going out and protesting, being in that positive light, being around, my black brothers and sisters, but not only my black brothers and sisters, definitely made me feel like there's hope. There's hope for humanity. And, it just, like Black was saying, this is a very emotional time, especially for us. And I'll just say for black people, like, especially just like the type of people we are, like, we feel things immensely. Like, it's just, we're artists, and it's just like it just affects us a little differently. And I just feel like when I was there, feeling that love, feeling that support, feeling that oneness, it was great. But then leaving, the first thing I thought of was, now what else? What are we gonna do? So I feel like the positive of protest is the feeling when it's positive, the feelings of it, the solidarity, the love you feel, we're here fighting against public enemy number one, and it's like that in itself is super important. But I just don't want people to get confused with protesting as that's our one main way to attack, and that's just not it.
So with the protests now, how do y'all feel about the riots now?
Well, I mean, I just feel like with the protests, like what Black said, protests are necessary. Like a protest is necessary because if the streets were quiet to mainstream media, it looks like it's not a big deal. If this didn't happen and nobody got outside demanding, screaming for change, you know what I mean? It's like where it almost feel like we were unaffected.
Is it the protest doing that or the riots?
The protest is doing that because the protest led to riots.
Okay, gotcha.
They didn't get all to the streets and just start burning shit. They were protesting. The protest got out of hand and it's some riots.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Protesting
And that's what I
spirit.
also want to specify is rioting is completely different. And a riot is not a tactic, it's a reaction. And that's what I also want to get by. No one plans to riot. No one's like, at 7 o'clock, we're going to riot. No, it's the energy builds up. It's so crazy. And something happens. One nigga gets pushed too far, causes another nigga sees that, want to join that energy. And it's a buildup. It's not a tactic where someone's saying, all right, we're going to go riot.
Yeah,
or we're going to do this.
But then once it builds up, like you said, then they turn it into
a tactic.
They start planning them.
Facts, exactly. But that's...
My fault.
But no, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that. Like I was gonna tie it back to soon, but real quick, I just wanted to say this. And protesting is a part of the American spirit. Like we act like that's not something that hasn't been shown time and time again from various different groups in America. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, when you're just like at work, like if you're not getting the demands, if you're not being met with the demands and the things that you need to succeed in your workplace, what do? You strike. You go on a riot. I mean, not a riot. You protest, and that's just what we've been doing. So I also don't want it to seem like protesting is a black people thing, because it's not. It's an American
100%.
thing.
That's
It's
a
what
fact.
people do.
100%.
When you're not heard, you have to do what you have to do. It's just a part of it. But yeah, so I wanted to hear your perspective on the. I don't want to call it a riot because I feel like
what was it that you like? Explain
yeah.
your situation in the city.
Yeah. Okay. So I went to the city. This was the second day of the riots, I believe. The second or third day, so the energy was really building up. And I did not go to a protest. I thought I was going to a protest. I landed in the middle of a riot, like straight up. There were people protesting there, but it was a completely different motive. The motive was destroy everything and be free. Going off of what you said, Alex, feeling that energy did something completely different to me. It made me perceive everything else in a whole different light. To feel that power coming from the people, because I wasn't rioting, but I was in the middle of all of it. I was with all those people, and I'm walking. I was by myself, and I couldn't believe how much power we had as a whole. Cops couldn't do anything at all. There was literally no control. Every time they tried to do something, there was actually tactics being implemented.
Wow.
Like everyone's like, nah, don't run, fill the streets, you know, and like everyone would do that, and the cops wouldn't be able to move. They wouldn't be able to do anything, you know, and people were just bugging out, going crazy. And to see that freedom for once, you know, I can't lie, like that made me smile a little bit. Just to see New Yorkers running around being free and having that like that liberation, you know, like that was great to see.
Let me ask you a question,
Do
bro.
I think it's necessary though? You know, I think at a point, you know, like it comes to that needs to be done at a certain point, but it needs to be like controlled. You know, like there's gonna be a point where we don't need riots no more, and people who are rioting need to chill.
But is there
You know what
such
I'm
thing as
saying?
like
But-
a controlled riot?
No, I'm saying control it when it comes time to not do it anymore. Because right now,
Got
I
you.
think the rioting does good in the sense that it's showing the government, all right, they ain't playing. You know, they really about to destroy everything, and this shit is growing. Like we better listen. You know, because we could protest all we want if we're not doing anything really forceful or physical. You know, like what are we doing? You know, we're not doing anything. So it's like, I really do think even protesting, like, that's just a step. It's one weapon in the arsenal. Or like when me and Naga were talking about, that's the pawns. You know, the government sets out the police, we send out the protesters and rioters. That's just the pawns. Now it's time for all the other pieces, the bigger roles, to do their job. And that's where I think niggas is now like, they're a little bit quiet, you know. Little bishops over here, like, do I come in? Do I step in? What do I do? You know, and it's like,
That's where we need the unity, though.
yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that same energy you felt in the city, do you think we could manifest that here in this area?
Nope.
Ah, man, it's very hard. See, like, we would have to organize it more. Like, we'd need to get everybody together and make that happen. But in the city, it was just natural. I feel like people were just coming outside like, oh, we fucking shit up?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Like, and they were
yeah,
just
yeah.
joining it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
yo, even when I got to the city, like, before I even got to where the riots were, there's fire everywhere. There's glass, garbage, people bugging out. Yo, I just parked my car in an illegal spot. Like,
Wow.
it was that crazy.
Yeah.
It was like, no one's touching my car.
Wow.
Like, you know, like, that's, you know, it's crazy. The city's a whole different place. There's
It's a
so
whole
many
different-
different characters there, so many different
Facts.
people, you know?
The thing, my only thing with riots is just what the media does with that. The media just has a funny way of like, cause like Soon was saying, there's so many different people out there, and I know some of those people weren't out there because of Black Lives Matter. They weren't out there. Yeah, they weren't out there because it was an opportunity to get back at the government. Some people, but some people that is. To steal
stuff.
loot.
Nah, yeah,
Some
facts.
people are, you know, anarchy. There's capitalists. Like, there's so many different people out there doing things for different reasons, you know. And like, but all that does is when the media's ready to put it out on News 12, they spin it to this is what the black people are doing. They could see a white woman stealing and they just go, nope, it's not about her. It's about the Black Lives Matter movement, and we're gonna show the black people
That's
doing
a
it.
fact.
And it's just sad, and
And-
that's my only issue with the
And
rioting.
another thing with the rioting that I've also noticed is that, like, when it came to the riots, there were people from the cops that were making it worse to make the damage seem like it was more. Like, I've seen videos where it was 5 cops, no protesters, and they're just shattering windows.
Yep, they've been doing
And
that.
I'm like, yo, y'all niggas is doing the most right now. And also, when it comes to, like, the riots in general, is the fact that, I'm sorry, y'all niggas is tight. What you saw was an act of war. Point blank, period. Think about every time in history. That's an act of war. You go into someone's crib and you burn and you break everything. That is an act of war, bro. So Niggas is ready.
Do you think
So
that's
all
the
the-
residents of Minneapolis though, or everybody?
I think it's everybody's
Yeah,
on that
it's
wave. Niggas are sick and tired. New York has its own
Shit.
beef with the
Yeah.
NYPD.
Yep.
They have their
Yep.
own
LA.
relation. LA.
Yep. Everybody
they
has
got
their
their own
relationship
shit,
with their
and I
own-
feel
yep.
like
That's true.
that was a time where there was like, yo, we're not fucking playing with y'all. Come outside. I dare a cop, come outside. That's
Yeah.
how niggas was feeling. And it's like, my only beef was we should have left the black mom and pop shops alone. That was my only
That's
beef.
when it got too far.
That
You
was
know
when
what?
it, that's when it went too far for
When
me.
I was out there, the crazy thing was that people were genuinely trying not to loot those businesses. Like
Wow.
people were
Yeah.
literally saying that. They were like,
Wow.
"No, not that store. Get Gucci. Yo,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
Chanel."
Wow.
They were literally saying that, and it turned into. I saw as the days progressed, people just started
Fuck
bugging
it.
out. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like there was people watching riots at home and being like, "Oh, I gotta be a part of this."
Of course.
You know, and then they just went out and just did some wild shit.
Crazy
A lot of
shit.
out of state
Yeah.
people. It's a lot of out of state people just coming in.
About
Just-
their own, economy. But it can
Exactly.
also be not uneducated people, but people that don't necessarily take those repercussions into
The way we do.
Yeah.
Because like, let's say if like you were saying like should people riot here? I think it's kind of stupid because
Yeah.
most of Rockland, not saying all of it, but a lot of it is areas that aren't the most well off.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I go in Spring Valley and I start destroying all these local businesses, like
You're destroying Spring Valley.
Yeah.
You're destroying
It's
Spring
like-
Valley.
That's
Even
just
if
kinda
you
so-
have-
You're literally Spring Valley's already.
the people that
Yeah.
you're trying to speak up for,
I see
you're
what you're
taking
saying.
lives away.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you're taking not your life away, but you're taking your resources away as well. So if I go burn down the local grocery store that's run by black people or just people in general that are
Minorities,
not
yeah.
not the opposition, you take that away. Now where do you get your food from? All right, let's burn down Wendy's.
But
you burn down the grocery store and
to-
Wendy's. You can't get shit.
To compliment
That's
that
a
though,
fact.
is that like I said, that's an act of war, and an act of war, you get your casualties of war. You were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Point blank period. You was in the wrong spot. You're in the wrong spot at the wrong time. You had your store on 34th. Who knew that there was gonna be 8 niggas with baseball bats there? You were at the wrong place at the wrong time.
then it
bro,
goes back to intent.
There are crates of bricks outside. Like, true.
Crates of bricks. Who
Crazy.
brought
But that's
those
the
shits
thing.
out
There's
there?
many agendas going on.
That's
at
what
Many
I'm
once.
saying.
agendas
It's-
in a riot. Yeah, there's a lot of
There are
moving
companies.
parts.
There are companies that are
There's a lot
just
of-
filing insurance claims right now.
Yeah.
They're breaking their own shit just to get money from the government to rebuild another one.
And we're in a pandemic. Like, we gotta think about all these different factors. Like, a lot has to play. And, like, that's the thing. We don't know what is really going on. And we don't know what the media is also trying to do.
We know exactly what they're trying
I
to
mean,
do.
we know exactly what they're trying to
telling
do.
you
Facts.
don't believe what's right in front of your face.
Facts.
And it's up to
Facts.
you to really listen.
Yeah,
What you brought up
facts.
before about like the news reporting on what they want to report on, let's say like black people, the ones that are destroying people, rioting, all that stuff.
Mhm.
The good thing about that is social media, the way the world works
Yep.
now.
Yep.
Is the news will always push whatever they think is the most clickbait side of. They're looking for views. That, at the end of the day, that's how they get paid.
Yeah.
Social media is not about money or income.
We're here about
it's
to talk about
it's
it.
about the truth.
To talk about the truth.
Like,
Facts.
yeah, so
Mhm.
those people
But
that's trying to
the
get
one thing
followers.
about like social media though, it's that what I've noticed is that it's your truth. Depending on what you follow and depending on what you
That is
connect
true.
with and what who your friends are, you get and I noticed that you get media completely different. Like the suburban white mom is getting the exact same story flipped crazy
That's true.
on their own
Yo,
social
that's-
media page,
that's
on
what
their
I was
own
gonna say,
timeline,
like,
based off the people they follow and shit.
Yeah, recent.
It's like just because I like sports, yeah, I'm gonna get more sports stuff.
But like,
there's
but you gotta also
that-
understand that like how social media actually even operates, and that's how those businesses operates. It's based off your click history.
Yeah.
So like the things you're clicking on, the links that you're reading, the things that you're following up on, they take all that into consideration and they mold your explore page. So it's like that's the same way. Like my explore page is not gonna be the same as a 42-year-old Nancy with 3 kids. Like our explore pages are different. You know what I mean? So when we go on that explore page and we see the knee, right, or we see something, I get it completely different. I get a completely different narrative behind that voice, behind
What were
that
you gonna
action.
say,
What were you
Sam?
gonna say?
Nah, that I've been around a lot of white people, and
Salute to the white allies, bro. By the way,
one
salute to
thing
the white
that's
allies.
interesting to me is first off, how many racists have just been undercover around me because
Yeah.
they're all coming out now.
Yeah.
It's like, hello, I've always been racist. Like, whoa, like I never seen
Facts.
that. Like, but then also I'm hearing these people talk and they genuinely think the rioters are the protesters. They genuinely believe that's one group.
Wow.
And I had to really explain to them, like, that is not the case.
That's
like,
what they wanna
When I was
believe.
in the city, I seen so many white boys that, yo, they didn't give a fuck. They were just destroying shit. Like, they weren't even about looting. They just wanted to destroy. And you could tell they did not care. It wasn't
It's
a
because
Black Lives Matter
people in this
thing.
country were associated with looting, stealing, and causing mayhem. There's like a black person doing good. That's only like left to just the ones that are dead. Like they don't see that for us. So it's just like when we think of white narratives, like their narratives are always gonna go to the negative. It's always gonna go to that place because that's what this country has done, you know. And it's just that's my biggest thing with white people in general. It's just their privilege. Like they just can't come to terms with their privilege in this country, and it's really sad. But getting off the topic of the protests and rioting, I know this week we've been doing different lives with different people. Shout out to Malcolm. Shout out to Nan. Oh man, Nan, such an amazing ally. But yeah, Feezy. Yeah, shout out to Feezy. He had a protest last week that was really dope too. But yeah, shout out to everybody that's been on our lives, been supporting that. But we've been asking everybody that one question: the solution. What are some of the solutions that we can implement to truly help the black community? Because there's so many steps we got to take.
I think the key thing right there is what you said. What are some of the solutions? There's more than one.
There's more than
You know what I'm
one.
saying? We don't gotta, you know, you
People
don't
need
gotta
to find their role.
find your
Yeah,
role. Get
yeah.
in touch. What's your thing? You know what I'm saying? If you're a really good educator, get some information to educate the people. You know what I'm saying? If you're a good speaker, speak about them issues. You know what I'm saying? It don't gotta be at a rally or nothing, but speak. You know, like Alex was saying in the beginning, use your platform. If you're a rapper, you promo all day anyway. Put something up where you saying something to the people. If you're a poet, write what you feel. You know what I'm saying?
Why are we bickering so much though? Why is it not as easy as you're making it
Because
sound?
we're emotional right
Do
now.
you think people are really trying to have these genuine conversations? And this isn't for everybody, but do you think a lot of people are trying to have these genuine conversations about what this is about, or do they just want to argue their point?
I think
They want to
all
argue their point. I've seen that a lot on social media.
Yeah, I think niggas just want to argue their point.
I think people want to. Black people are in a very weird spot for me, from what I've been seeing. What I've been seeing is that we have black people that are super educated and they have so much information, but that information is not being felt. You know what I mean? Like it's not being reciprocated. It's not resonating with me because what's happening is they're telling you what to do and they're telling you what you've been doing that's not right. And I think that's the approach that is so wrong in all of this. Like, we don't have all the answers. If we all had the answers, or if one of us had the answers, there would be somewhere in the world where black people would be flourishing, you know? And it's like none of us have those answers. And I think as a black community, we have to say, okay, this is a point that I think I truly believe in. I've educated myself. I have the knowledge behind it. And I truly think this is something we can do. How can we implement something that you do? Because let's say I'm talking to an artist and I'm talking to a doctor. Those are two different perspectives. They're gonna, like, an artist is not coming to you with, oh yeah, like let's have a conference and no, they're gonna say, let's make some art, let's talk about our feelings, let's have people feel it that way. Whereas a doctor's like, I'm trying to teach. How about we combine both of those, you know, to reach the people? And like even the Blackout Tuesday, so many people were giving so many opinions on that, and all I kept thinking was, this is an amazing thing. People are united to do one thing. I do think we should be not just silencing ourselves. We should be putting out information, but let's do both. You know, let's put a black screen, and instead of anything, because Denisha called me and she told me the funny thing about it is that Blackout Tuesday started out as a dance thing. It was like dancers decided that they were going to do a Blackout Tuesday. Then like Denisha has the original post and she showed it to, like, she sent it to me. The original post was, this is going to be a day where we silence everything that we usually put out on social media and only stick to putting out information and, you know, organizations people could donate to, all that good stuff. But then in a matter of hours, it just got into the hands of other people and it became something it wasn't. So I saw so many people saying like, oh guys, this is like the silence should not be silencing themselves. And it's like, but that wasn't even what the point was. That's not even what it was supposed to be. That's just what the media made it become, you know? And I think that a lot of the times, and I even find myself doing this, and I had to check myself a lot throughout the weeks, but we just think that our opinion, which is just an opinion, is so right, and it's just the end all be all.
I think that's because we black, you know,
Yeah.
like we got the voice and we got our opinions, you know, and it's funny. It seems like niggas is catching on to something that we've been already knew. You know what I'm saying? Like this has been prevalent. Like these type of shits. Like how many times have we experienced racism in the room? Like come on, I could count that shit on my hands. Like yo, it's so many times. So it's like. When other people are starting to put focus on it now, you just like, well, nigga, we should do this because I know what I'm talking about, and it's not saying that no one doesn't know what they're talking about. We just gotta come together and kind of figure out what makes sense for us
It's
to
not
do.
that no one doesn't know what they're talking about, but nobody has the one solution that's gonna fix it all.
There is no one.
There is none.
And I think people want that one solution.
and
That's why
it's
we're all
just-
arguing.
yeah.
Everybody want that one solution.
I think,
You know what I'm saying?
I think, like you said, there's not one delusion, and there's different levels to the.
Yeah, I heard delusion too. I heard there's not one delusion. Then you should
This is the problem with the black community. That's the problem with y'all niggas. Yo, where my white people? Yo,
the
mixed
problem
mix.
is we're too lit. We're too lit. We like to have fun.
Nah. But like there's mad solutions.
We
to
like
the
to
shit.
laugh and smile.
I think there's different levels. And I feel like everyone, like, there could stick to your lane and stick to whatever's yours. But also don't be afraid to try something new and try something different. Like he said, dip your toes into it. I know a bunch of black people who have yet to vote, and it makes me cry. It makes me cry to my bitter end because it's
vote
like
for what?
vote
I want
for
Soon to
local
talk, 'cause I know
politicians
Soon was
and
talking about this the
local
other day.
positions. And people think that the president, that's why everybody voted Obama and said, our savior. Oh my gosh, he's gonna change everything. When, bro, you gotta understand, he's not looking at your small ass town in Minnesota. He's looking at all the
world.
United States
That's a
at
fact.
once,
The
like
greater
this.
good of the world.
This
That's a
nigga's
fact.
looking at the world like this, trying to pinpoint your one little ass town in Minnesota. No, it's your local politicians that enact the most change, bro. There's a lot of local law that is involved in change. Change your laws locally. Change the people that represent you locally. And it's not hard, bro. That's one way to do it. Vote. Vote, 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 vote. And I hate the people that say voting is useless and it's stupid. Because if you think it's useless and it's stupid, then you're useless and you're stupid. Because just like if voting was useless and stupid, there would be no Obama. And people have, you know, their mix-ups with Obama and whatever. The biggest part of Obama that was the most important to me is that it showed a little black kid that you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
if you want to be a president, that shit is possible. It's possible. It's not easy, but it's possible.
I think we don't need representation anymore.
But the thing is
I don't
like
think black
that's
people
a
need
anymore.
Black
It just
we
got
don't-
to that.
yeah,
It just
we
got to that
Like
point.
now,
Yeah.
black people, we don't need representation anymore. Now we need actionable things.
I know, but like
Yeah.
if we want laws, we have to put the people who are
That
gonna
look
push
like
these
us.
certain
I
laws.
agree.
If
I
you want a
agree.
cop
I agree.
to have certain regulations, put black people in that committee where they're in the same room with these people and they can directly speak to these people. That was kind of like my things of having more black people as cops when you were like kind of like that was more my basis to it. It's just have somebody with the perspective to be in a room with a bunch of people who all think the same way.
I can feel
So
that.
you kind of
You know
believe
what I
that,
mean?
like, let's say a Spanish community like Haverstraw,
Yeah.
instead of having white police officers patrol it, it should be Spanish people
Exactly.
patrolling it. I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Like
understand.
exactly.
It's not gonna.
I'm not saying like
It's not
Look.
gonna fix the institution that is the
It's
police
not,
force.
but it's
what it
one-
will do, it will reduce
It
certain
will
interactions.
reduce certain
Maybe
things.
this guy's not
like,
dying today. You
little,
know, it will.
maybe
It will.
one life was spared today because he saw somebody who looked like him, bro. You
The
know?
big part is accountability. You talking about the things that that could be things that would help out black people. I think on the top of the list, not number one, but somewhere up there is accountability.
For
I
what?
agree.
What do you mean?
I agree.
Accountability for everyone, not black people, not white people. I'm talking about the human race. If doesn't matter, let's say a black man kills a white man, hold that person that committed that crime.
But who
accountable
holds
and
that person
force-
accountable though? That's the
the
problem.
person
That
who's committing.
But that's the thing is your
But
example,
who's the
but your
person
example,
accountable?
but your example goes into that accountability is there are different stages of accountability, and that accountability is judged from different people. So like, for instance, like it's really hard in this world to say, okay, if a black guy kills a white guy, hold it to the same accountability as a white guy killing a black
When
guy.
the white man is the
When
one judging
both
that.
of those
That's the-
people,
that's the
when both
problem
of
that
those
we face.
people go
Yeah.
to court and they're both in front of a white judge,
Yes, I
and they're
understand
both,
that.
it's
And
hard.
That's why I said one of the most important things is accountability. One of the most important things.
Okay,
is
I see
your
that.
point that you brought up was voting in your local.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Officials
yeah, that's
and-
one
yeah.
point. Yeah.
On top of that, let's say you go to this.
And you got a
court
black
date,
judge.
You have a black judge.
Facts.
Now
Now-
that accountability plus
Under,
voting
Facts.
both come together
Facts.
and they make
Hear
a
that?
difference.
Facts.
So I'm not saying that's
I
just-
see what you're
Going
saying.
in, going
I
into
see
what,
what you're
going
saying.
into what you're saying.
That's a
Just
fact.
the
That's a
answer.
fact. That's a
But
fact.
it's large.
It's a
Yeah,
part
that's
of
a
it.
large
It's
part
a
of it.
part of
I
it.
hear
I
you,
think
I hear you.
accountability is one of the biggest things we need. I think that's
It doesn't
true.
matter if you're white, you kill somebody, you get the same shit as let's say murder on paper is a minimum of 10
It
years.
sounds nice, but
It's just
the founding fathers.
understand.
I just don't. To me, if I bought this crib, I want my daughter sleeping in the nicest room. I want my son sleeping in the nicest room. Bro, and that's how I like to just look at it. And when I think of these founding fathers in this country, their daughter is sleeping in the nicest room in that crib. Their sons is getting the nicest car in that lot. It's just what it is. And it's like, I see what you're saying, Top, but it's just when it comes to the people at the top, they're not trying to do that. Accountability, who? Nigga,
I
what?
understand that, but that's also with everybody. Not everybody's views are going to be the same. Now,
Yeah.
You might not like, let's say, soda. You like water. You have two different opinions. Not saying that you have to drink water because I drink water. You can still do what you do, but
Respect life.
it's being accountable
Yeah.
to other people
Yeah.
and other people's, let's say, skin colors, race, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go up to somebody and say, "Yo, what's up, nigger?" and like blah blah blah, and badger that person, insult them, and then just walk off. Nah, that shit happens. Somebody, whoever committed that is automatically.
But that's the problem. That's the problem that we're facing with is where we're not. They're not being held accountable. Whereas if a
And this-
black cop would have killed a white man, he
Yeah,
would have
it
been
would've
arrested
been-
that
it would've been
day.
immediately.
But then
I
when you
get
look
that.
at the other side, they hold it off for 4 days, and then it
And-
takes a nationwide protest
Right.
for niggas to just
But
get
see-
arrested and
see,
charged.
this is where everything comes into
Full
fold
circle.
Because, all right, sure, the shit was not like that prior to that, but now if you look at, let's say the George Floyd, let's say that started, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then on top of that, everybody's posting on social media the next day, Breonna Taylor, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we're gonna reopen that case, and then the kid that was rolled up in the gym mat. All right, we're gonna reopen that case. It's forcing the issue to hold people accountable.
I feel
The thing is, you're just dipping into different
Yeah.
degrees of accountability. The
Yeah.
accountability
It's not-
between person to person is different between the accountability the state holds you to and who you are as a person to the state.
That's a
You know what I'm
fact.
That's a
saying?
fact.
Like the account, like if I call
That's a
you a
fact.
name, interpersonally, there's some accountability. You know what I'm saying? But if I steal from you, you take it to the cops. This isn't
It's
a
a
matter
whole-
of
it's a
this
whole-
isn't interpersonal anymore.
Yep,
You know what I'm saying? This is
yep.
between me, Alex, and the state, and how they carry out accountability. We just, you know, it
racist.
can't. It's not through matters
That's
of
a fact.
faith and
Can we-
conscience.
can
You
we-
know what I'm
can
saying?
we-
We
Real
do
quick.
need accountability though,
There's
just
a lot of levels.
different
Because
levels.
Those people that are saying crazy shit and people are outing them on social media, those people are getting fired from their jobs.
No, that's true.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. What was it?
Soon, what was that? What was that? Calm down. All right. Thank you. he's in my ear. Soon, tell him next. Go.
I'm like, soon? You said soon 3 times.
Yeah.
No one let this
You
nigga
was
talk.
kinda going
You
crazy.
said
Yeah, he
soon.
going
Nah, you was kind of going
You
crazy.
said soon 3 times. I'm like, let this nigga speak. She said soon.
Nah, you
And
was like a
soon.
bee.
I look at
Yo,
soon.
every time
'Cause
I'm
I'm looking
talk, I
at-
hear, soon, you
Soon,
Defending your honor
soon.
against
Because I'm
each
like,
other.
yo, let this nigga talk.
Real quick, can you talk to the people about that book that white girl was telling you about that changed your life?
Oh yeah,
Made it see
yeah.
Jesus
So,
and shit.
I have a friend. Yeah, this white girl. I've known her for a long time. Like one thing I definitely want to put light on is the white people that are starting to realize the problem of racism. That's like dope because a lot of people are like coming up to me like with new energy about it all, you know, and that's great. But this one girl, she told me she read a book called White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. and I never read it, but she told me that it like
Changed her life. A lot of people say
completely
that.
changed
Mhm.
her perspective on everything, and she's like all for this whole shit, you know, like, and it's so weird seeing that because I never heard her ever talk about black rights, and now she's like really trying to push it. Like she's like, yo, I get it. Like I know why I never understood it before. Like I thought it was a problem, but now I understand why white people just don't get it. Like, you know, and that really stuck to me. Like while she was saying it, it was like, wow, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
it was even a surprise to me to hear how honest she was that she didn't understand racism at that level, you know, like.
Yeah,
So,
because
yeah.
I think one of the biggest things amongst the black community is like we're tired of teaching the white community. We're tired of, but I think we should be more intentional with what we try to teach them. That's just all that it is. Like I'm not gonna be here trying to teach you
I'm still
all
not
our
with it.
history. I think there's Google. There's plenty of resources for
Still
that.
not with it.
But I'll be intentional with the things that I do think that you should read and you should get information from. And to any of our white viewers, if there's any way you truly want to support the cause, if there's any way you truly want to be an ally, I think educating yourself more than anything, and not just the history that we've been taught in history class. I'm talking about really educate yourself, read books, like have these conversations with your friends of color, like ask questions.
I would
And
say
Yo,
not,
Alex, I
not
re-
just them too though. Even the white people who think that everything we're saying is bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Like if
yeah.
you're against this, to help your argument, read something like that.
Yup.
Like just.
But
You know what I
to
mean?
add on
Like-
to that, it's not only that we need to educate ourselves as well, because there's a lot of black people with opinions that aren't educated.
Facts. And
you
that's
know?
and that's what I was gonna say is like, yo, I fuck with the budget, but fuck that noise, bro. I'm not trying to educate no white person about my fucking
Yeah.
struggle.
I
I'm
mean, but
sorry.
you didn't
I don't
hear
care.
what I
I don't
said.
care
I'm not trying
what
to
level it
educate
is.
them.
How it's gonna work is this is my opinion and this is what's right. You either with it or you not.
Nah,
And if you're
that-
not on
and
that
that's how it
side,
gotta come.
you getting knocked down.
That's just G
That's
shit.
all it is. G
I think
shit.
to your point,
Like G
to your
shit. That's
point-
all it is. You in the way, you out the way. Period.
To your
Like,
point,
I don't got time to do that.
racism, discrimination, and systematic oppression aren't matters of discussion.
It's a
Yeah.
culture.
It's not a matter.
It's not a matter of
Facts.
discussion, but if
Well, how we
you
go back
wanna
and forth
take
on
that
that?
step,
And that's what
move
I'm saying.
forward.
Be more
Not only for
intentional.
your sake.
Yup.
Yeah,
Be
exactly.
more intentional with what you're doing. Don't do it just for the black community. Do it so that you don't sound ignorant in an argument.
Yo,
Like,
SOS
literally.
speaking for anybody who doesn't understand why niggas is tight and why niggas is protesting. Suck my dick.
Alright. But to,
That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
but to
That's
even
how I feel.
to even
My
circulate
whole
back to
beef.
just like educating yourselves, I really think black people should really just try our best to get back to just black, like in every sense of the word.
You know what?
By
We're still-
black.
we're still creating that, and that's the part people tend to forget. They're like, "Yo, I was this," but we're still going this way. We still have to create what being black is to us
Yes.
personally.
Yes.
Not even as a group, because I see a lot of educated black people trying to educate each other in a way that's extremely aggressive
And
Like,
detrimental.
you should have known this already.
Yes.
Like y'all niggas is late. Like if somebody don't
Nigga,
know,
you
they
have an
don't know.
advantage
You know
over
what I
me.
mean?
Yeah, some people have an advantage over others, and don't use
still,
that
that's-
as
but
a.
still, that's no
don't
excuse,
use that
though.
to weapon. No,
That's no
but Trey,
excuse.
listen to what Lucid's saying. Don't use that to weaponize your brother. Don't
Of
use
course.
that to make them feel like
Of course.
they're not up to par with a certain amount of knowledge that you have.
But that goes back to
Don't do that
Soon's-
because
but that
that's
goes back to
detrimental
Soon's.
to the community.
That goes back to Soon's point where it's like then everybody got to play their position now. You got to play your
Exactly.
position.
It's fine.
Everyone got to play their
Fine.
position. It's okay, but we have to come to terms and be accountable. Going back to what you said, we got to be accountable with our roles. Like we got to know what if you're educated in this matter now and you're voicing your opinion, maybe that's validated. And if you're not educated in your opinion, maybe that's not validated. And maybe you shouldn't be speaking. Maybe you should be doing something else.
But Trey, right, what I'm trying to say right there is that the person who's being quiet and listening, if all you're trying to do is use your education to weaponize me and
Oh,
to
yeah,
and
yeah.
to
Don't do that.
validate
Yeah,
your
yeah.
point,
Don't do that,
I
yeah.
stop listening
Yeah,
to
facts,
you. You
facts.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's
don't do
the
that.
problem in the black community.
That's a fact.
We need to and in every conversation before we even say, "Yo, this is what we need to do." How are you, brother? How you feeling today?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're brothers and sisters at the end of the day. And I feel like once black people really get back to the essence of love and truly wanting to educate your fellow brother and sister, not to show that you're smarter than them, but just so that we're all on the same page and that we can move in that right direction, yo, the black community would really start to fuck shit up. It's just that we have too many people thinking they are holding these truths. And then when they're trying to explain their truths, nobody's trying to hear it because it sounds like noise.
That's a fact.
That's it.
That's a fact. I think there's a lot of things there's a lot of solutions. A couple solutions that come to mind with me is like we're speaking about it, educating yourselves. I think a code of ethics is super important. I think we got to start holding ourselves to standards. You know, we can't depend on other people to create standards for us. We have to start living by certain standards. Like if a nigga's not doing something, and if he's breaking some code or in some type of violation, it could be something as small as you're not getting your haircut here, B. Like you can't do that. Like we won't stand and won't accept that. And I know that's very
grandiose.
It's like I know it's like like it separates itself from reality in a little bit, but I think if we start doing small actionable things like that, that would help. Like just holding ourselves to a certain standard, you know, like stop like we need to
I feel you. Not being in certain situations just because of we gotta move different. And when I say
we just gotta move
we
different,
gotta
that's
move,
just a fact.
we really gotta move militant because they trying to kill us. Like, and it's just like in that sense, I do agree with you. A code of ethics is so important. Like we can't accept any and everything we've been accepting.
And that's what we've been doing, and that's why we so fucked up because we'll open our arms to anything and everybody. And look what happened. We got everything and everybody. Like if we start separating certain things, like that don't align with what we trying to do. That's not what we trying to represent. Like I think that could go a long way. And it's something short and it's something small that's actionable. You feel me? We
have one common enemy. The nigga on top.
Yo,
I'm trying to bring that nigga
shit.
down.
That's real shit. And
that
I don't want people to lose sight of that because like racism is a problem and the light should be on that. But it shouldn't take away the light from the fact that the government's suppressing humans, period.
That's
like
a fact.
it does like there's racism involved, but there's like a planetary problem that it's like bigger than race, and I feel like a lot of times they use the racial war to distract us from that higher agenda. And if we lose sight of that and we just let it be all about race, bigger problems can happen. You know, like right now everyone's talking about like you said, voting. Like, and how important that is. A lot of people are like, fuck Trump, fuck Trump, fuck Trump. But what I'm hearing a lot of black people talk about now is, so, okay, we voting for Biden. Yo, he's a rapist too. He's worse. You know, so it's like, we're looking at a system problem. That it's like if we just protest too much this little thing, there's other things we have to work on too.
My thing is though is with that. My only concern with that is I don't want people thinking that there's a bigger picture yet. I want niggas to focus on one picture because when you give niggas two pictures and they start fuddling which one's which, energies start getting mismatched, people get confused.
See, but that
so
could be
so with that so I want what I would like is if racism is that smaller thing. Before we even get that high, let's tackle that shit first. Because how do you expect to tackle the grandiose thing if racism is the smaller shit and we can't get past that? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the second thing accompanied, I see what you're saying, Soon. I'm not saying I 100% agree with what you're saying.
It's just that's big. Like racism is still grand to me.
But like, secondly,
that's huge.
But like, secondly, what I want other people to understand is that this whole shit is a game. Politics is a game. America is a business,
it's
bro.
A corporation.
America is a business, and this shit is a game. And sometimes, and what happens in Uno? You don't get the best cards, right? But you pick the card that's best suited for you at the time, your best move. And I don't want people, back to what you said about Joe Biden and Trump. If you're not voting for Joe Biden, do not fuck with me. Period.
Oh my God.
Period. I'm saying that, and let me say it like that. And let me say it like that. No. But let me say it. But let me say it like. But let me say it. But let me tell you why I say. But let me tell you why it's not. Because niggas said the same shit about Hillary. We got Trump, and now everybody's like, "What the fuck? Fuck this nigga! Fuck this nigga!"
But that's the thing.
But
that's
here's the thing. But here's the thing. You're right. You're right.
That are both
You're right.
demons.
But would you rather dig a hole? Would you rather dig a hole starting from the ground up, or would you rather start digging 3 feet in? And that's what I'm talking about. If you're trying to get to the center of the earth, would you want to start digging from the top, or would you want to start digging from a hole that's 3 feet deep? And that's what I'm talking about. It's the fact that you are picking the less of two evils. No one's saying Joe Biden is the shit. But what's the alternative, people?
The alternative?
If you're bringing somebody
no
great,
president.
there's
That's
no
alternative.
But that's not happening. So if you're not voting, if you're saying that Joe Biden is just as bad, and I'm not saying he's not. If you're saying real quick, the last thing I'm saying is
cap on that though.
But the last thing I'm saying is that Joe Biden. But look. It's not happening before this 2020 election. That's what I'm talking about. So what I'm saying is, if you have a problem with Joe Biden, that's cool. This nigga's wildin'. What he said on the Breakfast Club was a little bug to me. I get it, y'all. But what's the alternative for this coming election?
But my dude is touching kids, bro. Like.
So you would rather wait soon. So you would rather vote, but wait, that wasn't.
I can't even compare.
But that's not the question, though. But don't dodge the question. They're not the same.
No. What you're explaining is the same. Let's say they're both touching kids, but which one's worse?
Which one's worse? Soon, are you voting for Trump then?
Not saying it's good.
No,
out of Trump and Biden, you're voting for Trump.
No, I vote for a new system.
But that's what it is.
Like,
but don't
up.
give niggas that, because all the people voting for a new system are gonna sit down at home and not vote, and then get surprised when we have Trump 4 more years. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. So that's all I'm saying to people out there watching. You don't fuck with Joe Biden, cool. You don't fuck with Trump, worse.
But you're saying that when it comes to racism, that people are gonna get up and do something to change it?
I'm not even talking about racism. I'm talking about voting.
But comparing what you just said about the changing the system or just changing racism.
But you have to start somewhere.
Like,
you can't
how
just
does that
change the whole
differ?
system.
You know what I mean?
Guys, I want us to save this conversation for the next episode, because I really think it's a great conversation, and I do want to hear everybody's perspective on it. But we're wrapping up the show, and we're not gonna have time to do that today. But the one thing I will say, because I'm the host and I get the last say, the one thing I will say to wrap up that discussion is that Soon and Brady, I hear where both of y'all are coming from. But to me, if you can't be free in this country if there's a sector of people that aren't free. You can't demand certain things when you don't see that there's a problem. You can't love yourself. You can't love someone until you love yourself. And that's where I do see where Soon is coming from with the bigger issue.
I understand
if we want racism to truly end in this country, it's not going to end under the politics and the regime that we are under today.
I 100%
And I think with that, I see exactly what you're saying.
That.
If we don't dethrone and change the whole system, I get that that's not happening by tomorrow, but if we don't do that, racism will still and always exist.
But Brady is just saying, what's the alternative though?
And my thing is
and I see that,
I
but
get that point.
The conversation shouldn't even, to me, the conversation should be bigger than, if we have to pick the lesser of two evils, let's pick one. It should be, let's get rid of these motherfuckers.
And I feel like,
that
but it's kind of like
the conversation that is said, and then everything is.
I feel that, but it's kind of like when you're quitting, when you're trying to find a new job, right? You don't just quit your job first and then go searching for a job. You go while you're working.
Depends on the situation.
I'm just saying, but depends on the situation. But I'm talking about what most people think practically is you. While you're in that job, you're going through the book, you're finding that better opportunity. So that when that opportunity comes, you've been building up all the right pieces, you do that switch. And niggas is like, you leaving already? They didn't even know. Niggas is like, you left? Yup, I got this whole other shit already lined up. I got my pay, all that. Bye. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, while we're still trying to figure out how to dethrone things, let's get the devil out of the White House. That'll make our fight a little easier. It'll make it a little easier.
But another devil's coming in.
The only thing is, if we get the devil out just to bring Satan in, does it really?
But wait, are they the same? You're telling me they're the same?
All right, so we'll get into that discussion again. All right, guys, so moving forward, we definitely want to be highlighting different organizations. Like we said with the protests and the riots, the reason everything we touched upon today was purposely. We touched upon the riots and the protesting because if you are a black person right now and you're like black in the sentiment of that's not your fight, but you're looking for other ways to support the fight, I think some of those great things are reading some of these books. We have some amazing books on this table, and I think some of these books would be so helpful to you to just learn and to read and to really just fill yourself with knowledge. If you're not a reader, listen to an audiobook, have the discussions with your friends, and guys, please, let's not just let's just not keep Blackout Tuesday and that feeling and everything we were doing that week. Let's not forget about that.
Facts.
Every day, remember, as a black person, you have a duty and a responsibility.
Facts.
And at the end of the day, I think if we all look at life like that, I know we didn't choose to be here, but we also didn't choose to be the littest creatures on this planet, bro. And, like, we didn't choose to have all this drip and all this sauce, you know. So at the end of the day, if you're gonna take all the lit stuff of being black, you also gotta take all the not so lit shit, all educating yourself, knowing certain things, doing certain things that other people don't have to worry about and don't think about. But don't worry, we doing it for a reason, and we gonna hit that promised land. Right. So guys, please donate to George Floyd's GoFundMe. Mm-hmm. We'll have that linked in the bio and everything. Guys, we're really trying to get you guys as much information as possible. We're gonna be trying to push to you guys all the black businesses in the area. Yo, black people buy black. Yo, let's start a new trend. Let's start a new
trend. Guys, if
you
you guys in Rockland County want to start buying black or like start buying like from minority places, I just got a few right here. We got Rock's Kitchen in Stony Point, Vibes Café in Nyack. We got Yogi's Plus Barbershop in Nyack. Hudson Valley Boxing Academy in Nanuet, Lil Beats Audio in Nyack, Big Daddy's Barbecue in Haverstraw, Off the Hook, Haverstraw. We got Main Essentials in Nyack. We got New York Cookie Boutique in Suffern, Anointed Cuts in Nyack.
That coffee spot you was telling me in
Evolution Optic in Nyack, Smarty Pants Daycare, for your kids, Smarty Pants Daycare. And New City, and just start.
And obviously, some of these businesses is closed if they're not food businesses. But when they reopen, definitely start funneling some money over there, because that really is how you're gonna fight that dollar. That dollar.
And
is
while
really
things
and
in the meantime, we'll definitely be getting not only just food businesses, but clothing, toiletries. We're gonna really try to get as much information. Yeah. So if you're a black business right now and you sell, even if it comes down to just socks, let us know. Because honestly, the true way for us to get out of this is,
I can use some socks.
You definitely need some socks. He definitely needs some socks.
Your mother can use some socks. Your mother can.
This nigga got a hole in every single mother. But yeah, guys.
Wait, hold on real quick. There's some other good books that are not on the table. Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. Message to the Black Man. If y'all know any, just throw it out there. But yeah, like there's other.
And I want to say one thing. I remember I worked for a chiropractor. I won't say your motherfucking name, but I will never forget when I was reading a black book and you said to me, "Is it Black Authors Week?" And ever since you said that to me, I made it a mission to only read black authors, motherfucker.
What else?
Mm-hmm. So the next time you see a black person reading a book, don't ask them if it's Black Authors Week. Ask them,
is it your mother week, nigga? Is it your mother's week, nigga?
Episode 1 of season 2, guys. We missed you guys so much. We're so happy to be back. We're so happy to be black. And But we love y'all. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment. Tell us how you guys been feeling. Let's have a mental check. Let us know below how you've been feeling, what you've been doing to just, release some stress, release some anxiety, take a walk, read, meditate, do anything, black people, because I know. Smash, because you need it. Sex is good. But we definitely know you need to get it off, and just know you're worthy. My black brothers and sisters, you're worthy and you're loved. All right, what song we coming out to? Like, comment, and subscribe.
Martyr Status by the one and only Some New Naga.
And tell your racist friends to watch us.
Tell your racist friends, your mother, nigga.
Yes, stay tuned for the lives. Yes. Martyr Status by the one and only Some New Naga. Yes.
Yes. History destroyed, no remorse. Warren Buffett to a monster moose, yo, they money not the same.
No, they not.
Agents, disinformation, rich and power for the black. I never back out as I get
used to back down, now I act out. Yes.
All the mom with the sexy bands. Tom Mullen know the more they box me in the more I fight. Compare style, you think of dancing. Charles Manson in my mansion. Criminal with a nice style. Spreading the word of Osiris like it was a virus.